Finally, it's been a month since I haven't been making a video in a long time, so let's get to our review on Avengers Infinity War.
Like we used to do.
Avengers Infinity War is the 19th Marvel Cinematic Universe movie to be made in the MCU, and it marks the 10th anniversary of the MCU itself, and this movie is directed by the Russo brothers. Now in this movie, Avengers Infinity War tells the story where a mad titan called Thanos. Now Thanos has plans to destroy the Earth, and by that he has the Infinity Gauntlet, and by the Infinity Gauntlet what he wants to do is that he wants to collect all the 6 Infinity Stones, and now it's up to the Avengers and all the heroes from different worlds and different regions who must now unite together and stop Thanos from taking all the Infinity Stones, no matter what the cause is. Now, to be honest, I had a fun time watching Infinity War. I mean, this is the second time. I've been waiting my whole life for this ever since it was announced in 2014 and now in 2018. Now, when I was working on the Plans 3, the tickets were already on sale, but however, I didn't get IMAX tickets, which is actually a sad thing. So I decided that I watch this movie in the normal place, and however, the best part about watching this movie is that I get to watch this with my old friend, and it was unbelievable. I watched an epic movie with an old friend, and I feel like I love that reaction. I had a fun time watching this movie. Yeah, like I said, I watched this on Wednesdays, and there's not much for me to do, so why not see Infinity War? And yes, this is it. I'm watching Infinity War. Now, from the beginning of the nope, we're not gonna talk about the beginning of the movie. I mean, yes, there are spoilers. Remember, Thanos demands your silence, meaning that we're not gonna talk about the spoilers. But what can we talk about the movie? What can we talk about? What is it something we can talk about for this movie review? Well, let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you many things about my experience in Infinity War. I mean, I watched with my friend. I buy the popcorn. I watched this at 12:30, and I had a fun time watching this movie. And other times I feel normal with this movie, and other times I feel awesome with this movie. I just feel happy when I was watching this with my friend, and then I walked out of the theater and I was like very speechless. Well, let me tell you about this movie. This movie had lots of great elements in this movie. You get a movie with all the heroes from the same universe, even though they don't know each other. Like, there's the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then there's also Thor, and then there's also the Avengers, and then there's Black Panther. So it feels like it's a universe combined. It's all the heroes in one universe. You have to remember that they're basically in the Marvel universe, and they don't know each other, even though they don't know they're in the same universe. And however, this villain, there's this one bad villain that they heard of, and they must fight that. They must work together to stop that big villain, and they don't have time to, they don't really much have time to know, to meet with each other yet. So then they just meet each other, and then suddenly they just start fighting Thanos with that. So whatever that movie is trying to do is that they're trying to actually put everyone in the same movie at the same time. Now, however, I was telling something. Now, the movie, the tone itself is dark. I mean, I like the humor with this movie. There are great humor that you will enjoy with this movie. I mean, unlike the previous Avengers, I would say that the Avengers, it was a very memorable movie. Avengers had a dark tone. I was in very pleasure with that movie. I didn't have any laugh with this movie, but the movie is already memorable now. And now with Infinity War, this had a dark tone, and this is a combination of humors. Now, this movie is directed by the Russo brothers, and I feel like the Russo brothers did really great with this movie. They really did really solid with this movie. And however, trying to put these characters at the same time, now it's probably the hardest part. Like, how do you put all the characters at the same time in one Marvel movie, in a 2 hour and 30 minutes movie? Yes, this movie is 2 hours and 30 minutes, and however, they put all at the same time in one Marvel movie. So this is what they did. So basically, in one time, they had like this one character talking with the other character, and then stop at that moment, and then we move on to the other side, and then we move on to this character, and then all the way to the other side. Like, it takes a long time, and then wait, pause over there, and then we move on to that. Alright, time's up, we're gonna go move the other side. So yeah, that's really a really solid way that how the Russo brothers trying to at least organize all the characters at the same time, trying to find a way to meet everyone at the same time. But throughout the third act was not really my favorite. However, when I was in the first act of the movie, the first act was great, the second act of the movie was a little bit okay, and the third was like, it was really confusing. I mean, I got not much to do. Sometimes I ask myself, how am I going to talk about the characters in this movie? Well, here you go. I got the picture of it. Here's Doctor Strange, Wong, Mark Ruffalo, and also Tony Stark in this one picture over here. And looks like I'm going to describe that Doctor Strange was great. They were like the Doctor Strange, and then Iron Man was Iron Man. He was really funny, and also Mark Ruffalo, well, there's a reason why this character was here. And then you also got Spider-Man, which Spider-Man still has the same elements with Civil War, I would say. And then you also got the Guardians of the Galaxy, which Guardians of the Galaxy is great. And let's not forget, Nebula is a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy because of the sisters with Gamora. And what's with the Guardians of the Galaxy? They meet with Thor, and now that they meet each other, it's time that they split with each other. They work together in order to stop Thanos and try to make sure that they can get the Infinity Stones before it's too late. And yes, there's actually a conversation between Thanos and the sisters, so we'll get to that later on, maybe someday. I'm not gonna spoil you anyways. We also got the Avengers, which is the same method as the Civil War. This time, Black Widow's actually had blonde hair, and Captain America has a beard. Vision and Wanda has a good relationship, but I would split that, and I would just pick with this Marvel Legends. I'm sorry about that. I had to split it. Also, do you have Winter Soldier? Which Winter Soldier, yes, make an appearance, so we can call him White Wolf. But where does he show up from? He shows up from Wakanda, where we got Black Panther. And Black Panther's not alone to protect Wakanda. He has Okoye and also his little sister Shuri. Now we also got the main villains, but before we talk about the big titan, we're gonna talk about the Black Order. Now the Black Order with the so-called Thanos children of Thanos. They're basically like those guys who are like, oh, now you don't deserve mercy. You're gonna do on salvation. And they're pretty much terrifying at other times, but they're really a solid character. They're like good at fighting and that. So I don't know what to say about those guys, but yeah, they look really dope. And then we have the Mad Titan himself, Thanos. Now Thanos really has a reason why he wants to take over the Infinity Stones, and I'm not really sure about that. I'm really confused about that. However, he has the Infinity Stones, and it's very cool seeing this guy. He's basically above Killmonger. He's like the baddest villain unlike any other characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I really feel bad about talking about saying that he's better than Killmonger, because I mean Killmonger's a good character. I really love Michael B. Jordan's performance in Black Panther, and now with Thanos he's very bad Titan. He's a big mad Titan, and he really shows that fearsome he has. Now at other times when you're watching this movie, you feel like you're watching a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and then other times you're watching a Captain America movie, and other times you're watching an Iron Man movie, because it feels like it's connected. It's connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, despite the fact, keep in mind that all the characters are in the same universe. You have a whole universe together trying to fight against one big guy who basically has this magic gauntlet. So basically that's all for the characters. Those are the characters who make an appearance in Infinity War. If there's any characters I missed, well, I might not talk about it. However, actually in the end, I didn't made it to the after credits, to be honest, because I was like, after credits, in the ending, I was like, this, because then I walked out of the theater, my friend's like, okay, let's go outside the theater, and then I walk out to the theater, and I was like, yep, Avengers 4 is coming. And yes, Avengers 4 is really coming, so I'm sure this is actually part 1 of the series. So yep, don't lie to me, Kevin Feige. This is part 1 that you're releasing. Part 2 is coming up next year, and that's Avengers 4, which we'll find out later on next year. When I'm not sure what's gonna happen in part 4 actually, so maybe we're gonna have to find out. Maybe there's an explanation why the ending had to be like that, even though it's a 2 hour and 3 minute. It's kind of like watching Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows. Part 1 was really like the drama thing they're trying to survive, and part 2 is kind of like the more of the battling scene. So we're gonna see more of that. I mean, the battle in Wakanda was actually okay, and the third act doesn't seem that right. Like, why is the ending? I was a little bit confused with the ending and the fight scenes. I mean, the way that the characters bring together, it's actually a little bit mashed up, and there aren't really many great humors in this movie. I really love the humors in this movie. So now that to fill in our time, let's give you some 3 advices. The first advice is basically the time advising. Now, first of all, the movie is 2 hours and 30 minutes, and you maybe want to watch this at maybe at 12 o'clock. If you got prayed, then you just watch this at 12:30, so you can watch it. This is the first early you can get. Maybe in the morning you can get at 10. Maybe there's at 1. Remember, time could be varied. That depends on your schedule. If you're available in the afternoon, then you just watch in the afternoon. If you're available at 3 o'clock, then you just watch at 3 o'clock. If you can watch at the afternoon, at the evening, at night, then you either watch at 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And that's just my advice. Now, will you want to watch this movie? That's the second advice, because you might want to watch this with your family. And watching your family is actually a good way. But however, I feel like, okay, this movie is fine. Maybe a family would enjoy this movie. Maybe my parents might be okay with this movie. However, I watched this with a friend. I watched this with my old friend, and it was a memorable thing. We had a fun time watching this movie. Even in the ending, we're like, okay, we're just gonna leave the theater because I don't know what to say about the ending. Yeah, this movie was fine, but at other times it was also a good movie. I mean, the movie was also great. I really enjoyed the movie. We both enjoyed the movie, so we did discuss like how many talk about Infinity War with you guys, and basically Infinity War feels like it was an okay movie, I would say. And if you're watching with your friend, you're watching with a friend. If you watch it without your parents knowing, then you don't want to come home and say, I just watched Infinity War, or else the whole house is storming. And that talks about spoilers, which is why in this review I will not spoil a single thing. Thanos demands my silence. That's the word. That's the motto over there. So I would advise, like, try not to spoil anything from the movie. After you watch the movie, just don't spoil anything. That's really key word. I mean, I watched this movie. I was speechless when I walked out of the theater. I was like, yeah, this movie was okay. Yep, part 4 is coming. And part 4 could be much more expensive. And I would say that if you're the first out of your family to see this movie, then basically come home normally. Don't come home and say, I just watched Infinity War, or else the house will start storming. If you are a kid and then your teacher says, please summarize the whole movie. Yep, this teacher is basically asking for spoilers. And you cannot spoil the whole movie until everyone in the classroom watches Infinity War. And that's basically my advice for Infinity War. I would say that Russell Brothers did a great job with this movie. And I know it. Avengers 4 is coming. That's for sure. That's for sure. I said this is part 1 and this might be part 2. So that's what I can say about this movie. And I give you something, Russo Brothers. Joe, Anthony Russo, I dare you to make Avengers 4 as expensive as possible. Make this movie above the budget of On Stranger Tides. I thought this movie was going to be 400 million, but turns out it was 300 million. And I was like, nah, yeah, that's pretty much okay. And 400 million, let's go above. Go above on Stranger Tides. I dare you that. That movie was $378 million. And I dare you to go either 400 or 500. Or maybe like, I don't know, like all the Hobbit movies together and become $600. But I don't know what to say. I have to say this, but Avengers Infinity War is the beginning of an epic event with all the heroes in one of the greatest Marvel movies ever made. I mean, that's funny how I say every Marvel movie is made, because every time Marvel makes a movie, this is basically always good. They always have the humor, they always know how to organize things, they always know how to make us feel, and they always know. They had these after credits, which to be honest, I did not see the after credits. If you're watching this movie in IMAX, I'd say it's a wide, epic, phenomenal experience in IMAX. And I'm very serious about that, because you want to watch this movie in IMAX. Here's basically a picture of these guys discussing, and this is him in the aspect ratio. This is why I watch in IMAX. It's very bigger, it's much better. The whole movie's filmed in IMAX, but however, I didn't get tickets for IMAX. I saw this movie normally, and yeah, the movie was actually great. But I'm gonna see this in IMAX. I'm gonna see this for a second time, and it's gonna be in IMAX. So basically, try to see this movie in IMAX. It's a good experience. That's why I always say I watch this movie in IMAX, because of the great experience. But yeah, that was my review on Infinity War. Have you seen it? What do you think of the movie? Let me know in the comments below. And yes, I really had a fun time watching this Infinity War. I watched this movie alone, not alone, but this time with my friend. And now that I have enough money, now I can just save my money for Deadpool 2, and I'm gonna see that movie alone. And then next week I can just watch Solo Star Wars Story. And yeah, I'm sorry, this movie review is very long, and I know it's gonna take a hard time for me to work on this review. And by the time I get this out, by the time I work on this video, then I should be out watching Infinity War in IMAX 3D, and it's already a good experience. By the time you're watching this video, maybe I'm already seeing it in IMAX 3D. But yeah, that was my review on Infinity War. Here's the outro. That is all for this video. If you do enjoy this video, give it a like. That would be very helpful. And in the description, you'll find the link so you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Google+. I appreciate you guys for watching this. And I'll see you another time. Bye-bye.